Hello everybody and welcome back to the Real South Africa. Believe it or not, we are a travel and tourism company who just happen to have a YouTube channel so we can bring you all the good information that's happening here in South Africa as far as our packages and so forth. But also too, we have a book. So if you're looking at trying to transition to South Africa, just go to our website, therealsouthafrica.com, scroll down to the bottom, and then you can purchase the book there. And then of course we are a member of the African Tourism Association, so go to that. But we are ready, but this video has a special guest, so follow with us throughout. You're absolutely gonna love it. Hello everybody, this is Mark Edward Blanton from the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. Then of course we have
Dr. Latasha Blanton, also from the Real South Africa. I would say we are a lifestyle travel and tourism company.
True.
Thank you guys.
Okay, well, you're going to hear some noise in the background because we're outside, obviously, and they are building houses here in, obviously, where we live, and then there's planes flying overhead, but we decided we just wanted to come outside because the weather is extremely nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. And of course, we're going to go hang out tonight. We're fortunate because one of our previous travelers that came here, you guys saw her video, her name is
Elle.
Yeah, Elle. She actually put together a beautiful video on her channel, so I'm going to tell you now, go to her channel. Was it Inner Cosmetics?
Inner Cosmetics.
Yeah, so go ahead and go to her channel. Go ahead and subscribe to her channel. She has a lot of great content, a lot of insight, so you probably want to, view that. But the good part about it is that, we understand the process because we talk to a lot of you guys a lot. On the phone, you guys are kind enough to go to the website, therealsouthafrica.com, schedule an appointment, an actual scheduled appointment, because I think we got, what, 6 hours difference between us and the East Coast?
6 hours difference on the East Coast, and of course, the further west you go, it gets a little bit more, but thank you guys for taking the time to still wake up early and schedule those calls to chat to us, because it gives us an opportunity to plan things properly for you. Yeah,
it really does. So what we like about it is, like I said, with her, I remember her phone calls because I think I was the one that took her phone calls, and she was super excited about coming to South Africa. She was like, you know what? I saw your videos. I've been watching your videos. Somebody else turned me on to your videos, and then she was super excited. So she just decided that she was going to come to South Africa. So she scheduled this call. And then, of course, in this video, which I'm not going to chronicle everything, she's actually going to tell you, from her perspective, how things went and so forth. I would say, and then at the end, she did an interview. She did do an interview. Of us. Of us. Yeah.
We may show you that later, but right now I think the most important thing is that you guys get to see Elle again in her own words. Yep. She did do like a 5-part series, so we'll probably make sure that we share that, guys, share that with you as well. Because
I am. I'm going to actually put it all together for you guys, and then you can watch it straight through. So it goes from the time from her first thoughts until she left South Africa. And
I think the reason why we really want you guys to see it is because her thought processes sound like a lot of the processes we hear on the phone, and she pretty much, for those of you watching, if you feel like she feels, it gives you an opportunity to know that you are not by yourself. We get lots of phone calls, and everyone's sentiment is the same. They want to come to the continent. They don't know where to start. Yeah. And us as a proper travel and tourism company, that's what we're able to provide. Lifestyle travel and tourism company. Yeah. That's what we're able to provide. And we say lifestyle because South Africa really does show you different lifestyles across the board. And Elle figured that out very, very quickly. She figured out that she could get in where she fit in, and that her life would be a higher quality if she decides to make that transition. So that's what we try to do.
Yeah, but that's if she decides. But if she decides. But she did come on the trip, and that was the decision that she actually made. She actually, booked the trip with us. And of course, with her coming with us, then of course, she belongs to us when she gets here. So we take care of everything for her. If there's questions, if anything comes up, we're here in real time. We're not, 6 hours, 8 hours back in the States and you're having problems. We're here. So, and while she's here, we give her, the attention, that she needs, So for those that are saying, or that we have, come across that are like, well, I'm just going to come to South Africa. I'm gonna book a trip. I'm gonna come to South Africa. And then when I get there, I'm gonna call the Real South Africa to let them know what I want to do. it kind of doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. The biggest reason, like people like Elle and many others that come here, we're taking care of our people, and we have, you know, we do some interviews. We don't do all interviews, but I will tell you this: we always have people here, and so we try to make sure that they're okay. So we don't want to take away
from those people.
Yeah, from their experience and what they're trying to do. So, but those that you see that are, you know, coming here, having a great time, a great experience, a great exposure to South Africa. They realize that what's the word? It's a soft landing.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a soft landing, and you understand like what we mean when we say there's a soft life here, because you see people that look like you actually having a really, really good time. And Elle will talk about that. She will chronicle it for you in her videos, and we're gonna, of course, share it with you. But you do have to come and see it for yourself. So make the decision, book the trip. It's been reiterated 1,000 times. Elle will say it again, and Mark will say it one more time.
Book the trip. I mean, that's really all I can say. There's not a lot to try to figure out. Matter of fact, the only thing that you need to really know is, do you really want to come to South Africa? And if you do want to come, we just need to know your dates. And then from there, we got packages on the website that are expertly put together. Trust me, these are things that everybody pretty much wants, even if they know it or not.
Yeah.
This is what they want to do, because sometimes people come here and they're like, okay, well, I don't want to do those things. And then they get here, you know, in the environment of being in South Africa, and they're like, well, I want to do that. And then it was on their schedule, but they decided they didn't want to do it. Yeah. So we know what we're here. We're part of the tourism thing here. We are constantly, you know, in contact with, you know, most of the tourism bureaus here and others that are willing to help, because there are South Africans that are like, you know, how can I help this movement?
100%.
Yeah. So this is a true movement. You know, it doesn't have to be organized through our governments, through even, you know, massive organizations that we know of. We can do this ourselves, and it's actually happening because we love the fact that I know our company itself have brought hundreds of people here, and then now we got people that are actually who decided on their own to say, I want to live there, and you know, they're building houses, they're doing the most, but they took those first steps. They can't do that from, okay, I got to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then by noon, they got it all planned out about how they're going to be living in South Africa. And trust me, there was a time that we did that. There was a time, but we could, like somebody said, you guys could have closed the door, came here and closed the door, but we didn't. We want people to have a proper experience. We don't want people to come here and then, well, I'm going to go do this, and then don't know how to do it, and then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I really want to go here, want to go there, but then they realize once they get here, it's 400 miles in an opposite direction, and they didn't know.
This country is huge.
Yeah, it's twice the size of Texas, people.
It's huge.
So
when you're talking about you want to come to Joburg and go to Cape Town for the day, that doesn't even fly, or go to Durban for the day. Yeah, there's short flights, but that's not really the point. I don't want you to come here and spend most of your time traveling in between provinces. You want to really get a feel of the people and the environment that you're in, and that's why we always want people to come to Joburg first. So just understand that we have put things together for you. There are things that, like he said, we know you're gonna want to do. So
we already know.
I ask you guys to trust us on that. And those of you that have trusted us, thank you, including Elle, more importantly.
Yeah. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to cut to her video, because we really want you guys to see it. You know, believe it or not, when we talk about the lifestyle, it's not coming here, you know, and I'm being honest with you, you know, finding the most least expensive place to be, which again, if you just kind of pony it up just a little bit more, through what we do, you're going to be in some top-notch stuff, and we deserve that. We all deserve that, and we always aim for top-notch stuff. And we have a lot of vendors that work directly with us, and they know what we're looking for. So when you come through the door with the Real South Africa and you start showing up in these places, they know exactly who you are, because we told them. Yeah. They're going to be like, oh, those people are with the Real South Africa, so they get these, you know, these things. So without further ado, let's go ahead and watch our video, and of course leave comments, subscribe to our channel, do all of that. Go to her channel, Inner Cosmetics. She also has an Instagram channel by the same name. Go there too, and you can constantly get updates, because we get them all the time. So We'll see you here in sunny South Africa.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Elle on Inner Cosmetics. This is the South Africa series. If you happen to miss the first episode, you really didn't. Just go to the playlist on this channel and look for South Africa. So today's episode is all about booking with a reputable tourism company. And we're going to talk about who I booked with, the Real South Africa. We're going to talk about the itinerary that you and I are going to be experiencing once we land in South Africa as well. So without further ado, let's keep this party going. Meet Mark and Dr. Latasha Blanton of the Real South Africa. I chose to book through this tourism company because not only did they have the experience from helping people, vacation from one continent to South Africa, but they themselves, they relocated from continent to continent. And so that level of experience really attracted me to them. All right, so the itinerary, let's run through that. Day one is going to be a private transfer from the airport to a fully equipped apartment. Super stoked about that. I'm like a little kid, so excited. Day two is the Lion Safari Park experience. So I'm assuming I get to, interact with some cubs. Lots of fun. Day three is a private tour of the Soweto Township. Afterwards, there's going to be a lunch at the restaurant 1947. And then day four is the return to the airport for my trip home. But day four, what? Although that's what I had planned, the universe had something else planned for me. And this is what I mean by allowing life to plan you instead of us trying to dictate how. How. The how will always be worked out. It will just always be worked out. Just let go. So I booked the 4-day with the Real South Africa because I thought that's all I could do, right? They were so kind in their response. Because initially I was like, ooh, 4 days. I normally see, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's my thought process. Are they going to accept 4? That was just me in my head. They were so kind. And just like, we really just are encouraging and exciting that you're coming. The amount of time, it's the experience. And I love their response to that. So after I booked my 4 days with them, the universe had something else in store. Called to make my reservations to the airport. And the reservationist said, well, if you extend your time, you're going to get a better rate. I said, what? Yeah, so if you leave on this date and return on this date, it's going to be a better cost value. I was like, stop twisting my arm. But it's just a nice reflection of the universe has other plans for you. You just commit. Make the commitment. That's, to me, walking by faith and not by sight. So once you take that step forward, the rest will fall into place. And that's what I'm really excited about. And that's the message and inspiration and motivation that we always share on Inner Cosmetics, that you magnetize the good to you. You can just stand in your essence, your purity, in your love. And your frequency will magnetize everything that's meant for you. So it was meant for me to be there for an additional 2 days, even though I had thought it was going to be 4. So although this is going to wrap up the episode for today, you're going to want to stay tuned, hit that like button, subscribe, because next episode, you guys got to help me pack. What? How do I pack for this trip to South Africa? I have no idea, but I do know my goal is 1 suitcase. Can I do it? So we'll see. But I'll see you all on the next episode. Thanks for always tuning in. From my light to yours. Hi there, can you believe it? We have made it to packing day. Next week, I leave and I am super stoked, super excited. Wow, we're doing this. So let's get into that, our packing day, what I'm packing, how I'm packing, and yeah, let's do this. So my friend had seen me packing. She saw that I had a folded shirt in my suitcase. And so she travels a lot and suggested that instead of folding it, it can best optimize the space by rolling it instead. Now, I know for some of you, this isn't a life hack and I'm showing up late for the party, okay? But for those of you who are showing up to the party with me, this is a game changer. So we can best optimize our space here. For your electronics, what you're going to need are actually two accessories. The black and blue little gentleman that you see right there, that is the international charger. And you're also going to need the white device that's here as well. So you just plug the international charger into the accessory that is white. And when you do that, the white accessory is going to be plugged into the wall when you get there. And that's how you're going to be charging all of your electronics. So if you're someone who hasn't traveled often, you don't travel quite frequently like myself, it's a really nice touch to have a reputable tourism company. And the Real South Africa has been that for me. And the reason I stress this so much is because you want to enjoy every element of your trip. The beginning, the middle, the end, all of it. And I didn't want to miss out on that. And it helped alleviate a lot of anxiety by having them by my side, because even when I booked with them initially, they provided a packing list. And quite frankly, it wasn't items that I would have thought to pack. You know, this is my first rodeo for a really big trip. And so that was really nice. But it didn't stop there, because I fly out next week. And even to the very end, they were holding my hand, because yesterday, it was yesterday, I received an email booking a conference call because they wanted to touch base and answer any questions that may have come up for me. They wanted to review my packing list to make sure I had everything that I needed, you know, and I thought that was a really nice level of touch and service. Well worth it, especially, you know, for your peace of mind. And it really allowed me to just relax and know that it's okay and be excited about the trip rather than nervous or have this level of anxiety, you know. And so check out their link below. They also have, you know, a channel where they share a lot of the experiences from people that have booked through them. So their channel is really awesome, and they really stand up to the level of service that I would expect and want from someone that's reputable. It's time to rise and shine. Rub those eyes. Too early. It's never too early. We were waiting for this moment. Meditation done? Check. In a positive mood? Check. All right, let's hop in the car and be off to South Africa. And remember, we're doing this trip together, guys. So it's a little bit of a hike for me to get to Dulles Airport, but here we are. Finally got to Dulles, and I'll be taking Ethiopian Air. So there goes our flight, Ethiopian Air, about to take us up, and away. Please fasten your seatbelt. Now, I did fly economy class, and I must say I had no complaints about the food. Now, I know some of you might be like, girl, we need to upgrade you. Well, I accept that invitation, but that tiramisu right there, so delicious. In fact, I wanted that one as well. I should have asked for it. And after 18 hours of flying, there goes my driver with the yellow sign, here to transport me home. Africa. Sometimes there are no words to describe the feeling of tranquility and peace and beauty. Africa. So it's apartment time. Super stoked to share with you what the inside of my apartment looks like. So let's go inside and let's see. Ooh, pretty. This had all of the amenities that I needed. I mean, come on, what more do you need than a bed? Could have stopped right there. But let's continue. Here is a bathroom that's attached to the bedroom, and then let's take a look outside my absolutely favorite place, I must say, the deck, because it was a nice surprise, and I got to do a lot of my meditation outside in the fresh African air and sunshine. The washer and a dryer, perfect amenities to have. I absolutely love everything about my apartment. Grocery shopping was definitely first on my list. Here's a snapshot of what it cost. And I also didn't waste any time recording my very first video on my YouTube channel. I'm so excited, understandably so. And although this marks the end of the Welcome to the channel, Inner Cosmetics. You're watching the South Africa series. This episode, you're not going to want to miss it. We're having an intimate discussion with the Blantons because I want to get to know this tourism team on a more personal level. So we're going to be meeting on the rooftop, and I'm going to be asking them questions like, what were their careers before they even started the Real South Africa? And some other exciting things about them that I think you're going to want to hang around to hear. So I'll see you there. to Inner Cosmetics Podcast. I'm your host, Elle, and you know who I have with you. Look at this. I've talked about them so much on our prior episodes, and I am so honored that they're actually, yes, I have. I did.
Oh, okay.
A lot of talking. So they know about you. They know about you guys. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
But I'm here to set the record straight.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Hold on, guys. Gotta grab my drink. Okay, now we're ready. So, as you guys may or may not know, on Inner Cosmetics, we're all about inspiring others, to step out and lead from where they are.
Okay.
And you guys are the epitome of that. And I thought it would be really great for you to talk to the audience because, okay, now you're the leading tourism company in, the real South Africa tourism. But you didn't always start there. Right?
Not even close. Not even close.
Okay. And so this is a opportunity for you to share what that looks like. Like, how do you step into your passion, And so could you share a little bit about what you were doing prior to the real South Africa?
Well, since Mark is older, I'm going to let him go first about what he was doing prior to us starting the company.
Okay.
Well, before, we started the real South Africa, I mean, there was a ebb and flow to how we got there. But before that, I was working for the government. I was U.S. Secret Service for 13 years, or 10 years.
10 years.
Something to that effect. I was doing it for like 10 years. And at the same time, my wife, she's a physiotherapist or a physical therapist in the U.S. And so we just, I hung around a lot of influential people because of my job. And so being Secret Service, you have a lot of conversation with people that you generally would never have a conversation with, ever. And I'm talking about from the top people in business here in the United States to, some of the big government, officials and so forth. And then, so when you're sitting around, not doing much, you start talking. And it was always around business and stuff. And so when I told her to quit her job, I was like, quit your job. And we're going to start our own company. And I was very confident because I've had enough conversations. And I saw how they operated. I saw how they moved. They didn't operate like the average person said, I got to do this first. I got to do this first. No, they just kind of said, okay, let me figure out how this works. Okay, now how can I make this work for me? Okay. That was their thing. And so that's what I did. So we had a physiotherapy company or physical therapy company for 10 years before we became the real South Africa.
So it sounds like the company that you had as well, was it like more of a fast-paced type of environment? Like how?
So simultaneously while he was working at the Secret Service and while we were running the practice, it was very busy. So, we worked from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at night. And we saw patients every hour. And I was primarily a pediatrics physical therapist, so I saw most of little babies. So I'm on the floor playing for hours at a time. And then eventually, I got to the point to where it was no longer fulfilling. Okay. And I told him prior that if it ever gets to where it's not fun anymore, I don't want to stay there simply because I have a degree or because you worked so hard for this. It stopped being fun. So once it stopped being fun, we decided to sell it, which we did. And then I said, if we can sell it before I turn 40, that'll be great. And we sold it 6 months before I turned 40, which was great. Okay. And then eventually we moved here. And we have been toying around with the idea of tourism, but on a very small scale. And then it turned into what it is right now. So.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. So I hear following your heart, and you just let go of the stress.
I did.
Of course.
Were you guys traveling back and forth to South Africa during that time? Like
all the time.
So your first time?
Yes. Well, let me back it up a little bit. The answer is yes. We went back and forth. So as we were going back and forth to Africa, South Africa, we were picking up things from South Africans, like, the culture, how to interact with each other, business, even more stuff in business, just and what it was, what it really meant to be a black person in Africa. We were picking up things like all the time, and it wasn't like we was like searching for it. They were literally bringing it to us and say, hey brother, and they meant that. Okay. And they would, you know, break you down and show you things and talk to you. And then when you're here so much, it become commonplace. Like I remember a time when I was still apprehensive, and I say it the way I want to say it. You know, I had friends of mine that were, I would say, you know, socially, economically, maybe here, and I was here. And then because how they operate, and there's so many of them, they move in packs. And so then all of a sudden these people were here, and I remember they were driving a Toyota Corolla, and now they're riding Porsches and things like that. And I was like, you know what, I'm doing pretty good for myself, but there was something that held me back from getting my Porsche. So I came back, and I was like, you know what, I'm going down to the dealership. And I went and just wrote them the check, and I got my Porsche, and I put it in my garage as the rest of my South African friends.
I love it because it's like a story of how new experiences just add to you discovering yourself and seeing what's out there. And it's like the first step you're willing to take about change. Yeah. You know, it opens you up into this new door that you're like, whoa. Didn't know behind here.
Well, I would say, just to add to that, that coming here gave us permission to be unapologetically black. Ooh. and to want more for ourselves beyond what they told us was the quote unquote American dream. Because we had checked all the boxes. I'm talking like government gig, entrepreneur, making lots of money, and we were still miserable. And I was like, I would come here and I'd see people who quote unquote supposedly lived in the third world country and had less, and their lives were way more fulfilling than mine. And I'm like, I wanted it to look like this, and the only way I knew I could get that is if I was here. So I had to literally let go of all the chains that told me you can't do anything beyond be a PT, and believe that we could do this.
And guys, this is an example of what it looks like. It's the unknown, and you're going into it. But like Latasha is saying, there's something more. It's more than chasing the dollar. You know, after a time, it's like, what else is there, right? And so when you guys came here, how did the Real South Africa start? Like, how did that happen?
Well, it's pretty interesting because at this point we are battle-hardened, tested business people. You know, some people don't know what that means, but we do. And so when we look at things, we looked at things from a perspective of what can we do? So, you know, so I looked at this tourism space like we looked at anything when we were trying to get new insurance companies to send their clients to us, when I was competing against other businesses that were doing the same thing to get more clients. I looked at the whole industry, and I said to myself, I said, as far as black people traveling to Africa, there's nothing organized. There's no organization whatsoever. So that's why you find so many people that are, you know, if I want to go to Africa, how do I do it? Like, how do I go? What do I do? They can go to, if you popped into a travel agency and wanted to go to Europe, it's set up for you, and you can do it, not a problem. So you just opt for that because it's easy, or to the Caribbean. But there was nothing set up, so I looked at it and said, okay, there were a few little entities that were doing things in the African space. Africa is massive as far as in size. I mean, you can fly from the top of Africa to the bottom of Africa. You can fly 12 hours in a jet.
And still be 12 hours.
12 hours in a jet, and you would still be on the continent of Africa. You haven't crossed any waterways.
What?
The place is massive. But again, Europe is only just that big. An hour and a half, you don't cross the whole thing, and we're trying to get there. But we needed to come here. So I said, well, I'm very familiar with South Africa. I know how to do business. I know how to deal with all the entities here to forge a way for us to be here. Because it took some forging. They didn't know who we were because us black people never came there. We don't come here. So they're like, when you guys are saying, what? You want to bring black people here? Some people's like, and then some people's like, well, that's a good idea, but how do we make that connection? I'm a business person. I know how to do this. So I looked at everything and I said, well, we're going to start here. And we started here, and now we are recognized, especially here in South Africa, at pretty much most locations, most big venues, most everything as far as tourism is concerned, that a lot of if they are interested in reaching the African American community, they reach us.
Well, I know how big you guys have really grown because we were walking through the mall earlier, and you know, people were just like, "Hey," you know, I'm like, "Oh my gracious!"
It happens.
Yeah. You know, I thought that was really awesome, and also too, what I heard is that when you, instead of you complaining about anything, you took your experience and you said, "Ooh, I'm going to make it better for the next person that's coming." You know, sometimes we just sit there and we don't think that we're in a position to do that. You know, and you guys did, and look what came of it.
Yeah,
can't complain. I think that for us, we saw so many people that were grinding hard and deserved so much better, and I was like, there are friends of ours that I know own businesses. You know, they've checked all the boxes as well, and I know that they're miserable, but they won't do anything to change their environment. I mean, I'm not asking people to move to South Africa. I'm saying just come visit, and then however South Africa moves you, then let it do that. But you're not gonna find what moves you if you retire in Arizona, if you retire in Texas. You're not gonna find any of that. And I'm not saying that no, you won't find it. I'm not gonna mince words. You're not gonna find it, because what you're looking for, I promise you, on a lot of levels, wherever you want to get in South Africa, you can fit in, and you will find exactly what you're looking for. It will literally come to you once you get here. It makes sense. I mean, we've had a lot of people network quickly, boom, boom,
just like that.
And they're like, I couldn't get any of this when I was in the U.S. And they have been grinding. They came here, talked to a couple of people. They're like, hey, you need to meet this person. You need to meet this person, or come over here with me. And it's like, you said the other day, we're magnetic people, and that's what happened.
Yes.
That's what happened.
And I love, because I have a question actually about, well, several things. One is, I noticed when we were out the other day, we were on the deck enjoying conversation, and you guys were telling this just having conversation, and you were really relaxed about all these beautiful opportunities that are blossoming for you. And I was like, wow, they're really at this slow pace.
It's very slow.
But it's nothing like how you guys were before. Like, it was very fast paced.
And I refuse. If it even begins to look like that, we will shut completely down.
I will move out the way.
I'm not doing it.
Well, that's my question to you. So it feels like in the United States, you are trained 100%. For that need for speed.
100%.
Okay. So now that you're here, what's the value in slowing down?
My life. For me, it's my life.
Well, I would say the only real benefit is that if you need to go that fast, you can. You really can. And there are times here that it's to your advantage.
Okay.
You get stuff done, the way that you wanted to get it done. Where the South Africans are like, and yeah, but then at some point they kind of look at you as the person to get it done. And let me give you a quick example. We had a friend of ours, his name is Seppo, and he's starting a premium lounge experience for people who are traveling. And Seppo, good guy, proper South African brother, and he had this meeting that he had to go to, and now he had to go talk to this white guy who kind of he needed to rent the space from the airport. And so he calls me. Now keep in mind, that day, or was it that day? That day we was flying back to Atlanta to do something, right? Seppo calls me and he said, Mark, can you please come? So I come there, and backstory is a lot of times a lot of South Africans are kind of in the business space, are kind of very smart, but he was wary of dealing with this white person. He was nervous, flat out nervous. So me and Tasha, we've been through, we know what we're doing. I said, Seppo, what's the plan? And he started talking to us. Cut all that. Tell me what you want to do.
What's the goal?
What's the goal? He said it. I was like, okay, don't say nothing. We got it.
Oh wow.
We didn't know anything, but we knew how to operate.
Okay.
And I think that's what we bring to the table as African Americans. We bring that to the table because we can ramp it up if we need to. However, it's more comfortable not ramping it up.
100%.
Yeah, well, I could tell. That's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we preach about nobody wants to slow down. We just think that this physical effort is the way to go, and then before
you'll
you
get
know
left behind in the U.S. if you don't.
Yeah. And I'm just expressing to people, reminding people that, like, look, when you do, you can enjoy the scenery along the way to your goal. Because that's where the joy is, right?
I mean, we try very hard to stay present in every moment. I mean, even in the mornings when we wake up, it's not like go. I mean, it probably takes us 2 hours, about 2 hours to actually get past the let's go outside, let's sit, let's
talk
do
about
this,
it.
And then it's like, okay, then we'll get coffee, and then a few hours later we'll probably get another cup of coffee. Like this morning, I think we started moving around. We got up early because we normally get up early, but we didn't start like doing any work until like 12:30.
I like that.
And we worked until about 4:30.
Okay.
So, but I got everything I needed to get done in 4 hours, and I was like, okay. And then I texted you, I was like, okay, we're gonna get dressed now, and we're on our way. But most days are like, I'm not gonna wake up and start pounding. I'm not gonna do that. I'll set goals for every day. I'm gonna get this much done. If it doesn't get done, I will do it tomorrow. Like I'm only gonna work this much time because I've been in a space where I've worked from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on the weekend still putting back into a space that wasn't fulfilling anymore. So I won't do it again.
But
I will not do it again.
It's funny, most South Africans feel the way that we feel. I'm speaking, we back it up. Most of our people here feel the same way. Nobody's killing themselves over nothing. It's never not worth it.
It's not.
And if they don't have it, they're fine. Okay.
Because there's things that are more important, like you say, taking in the scenery. Our view is amazing. I like looking out my door. I like looking out my window. I like sitting by my pool. I like a warm breeze. I like a cool breeze. I mean, but I'm gonna take all of that and appreciate it too, because I've been in places where we've gone on vacation and I've not even been able to enjoy it because I'm thinking about what I have to do next, and I don't want to be that person anymore, and I don't have to be that person.
Exactly, that's the thing. Choices, right? We talked about that earlier.
That's the key.
And knowing you have a choice. That's really it.
That's
what
it.
Choices.
That's what it comes down to.
So before I wrap up, I have to say the best question for last.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the question.
No, I'm only 5'7". That's it.
For you, about Mr. Mark Bland. So
she's 5'2".
I'm 5'3.5".
I'm 5'2".
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's okay. She's got heels on today though.
Today I'm 5'7".
I love it. I love it.
So we are cyclical beings, right? We're supposed to cycle. We're supposed to change, and we kind of like try to stunt our growth by not allowing change to help us grow. And so, with that being said, since you've moved here, what changes have you seen in Mark?
Besides the fact that his favorite word is "I don't want to do anything."
I like that.
Or he says, I don't have to. No. His favorite word has always been no, but now it's like, before you can finish a question, he doesn't even know it, he'll just say no. And I'm like, you don't even know what I'm going to ask. He's like, I'm not doing it.
Because no. I got to do something. And I got to stop doing what I'm doing, which may be doing nothing. But to you, but it's relaxing to me.
I mean, the answer is,
I like that.
His no is way more prominent, and like he said, he could be doing nothing. But even if his doing nothing is, honestly, when I say doing, I'm talking like sitting, no TV, no phone, just nothing. If you say, hey, can you come here for a second? He's like, no. Because he's in that moment.
Oh, he's taking it next level.
No, yeah, because he's in that moment. And I said, but you're not doing anything. He goes, I am doing something. You know what I want to do right now. So his answer is no. His answer is that is. I love that. So the change that was that his no got more prominent, whereas before he was doing it because he had to, and he was forcing himself. So now he doesn't force himself to do anything.
So good. So
Nothing.
good.
Nothing.
That's really good.
It's hilarious, actually.
really good.
But this no is a universal no. He does not care who you are, where you're from, what your relationship is with him. His no is universal. Anybody can get this no.
I think that's great because it just shows that, you're connecting with your authentic self.
Oh, yeah.
You're tuned in, with what Mark likes. And it's a reflection of you, too. Your understanding.
Dude.
I'll
just go do something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like I said, being here in South Africa, the option of being able to, like they've been in the U.S., like in the DC metro area, the no comes with consequences. It comes with a lot of consequences, and if you don't do something, then this is going to happen. So you just end up saying, okay, fine, let me do it. Then eventually you die, and then nobody cares. No, literally, nobody cares.
Right?
And then nobody cares.
Did he do that? We don't know. Nobody recorded. But here, it's not just the fact that you can just say no. It's just the fact that you start recognizing being here all the other opportunities that you just ignored, like sitting down poolside or drinking a drink and just reflecting or doing absolutely nothing. That's a real thing. Most of us never do that. But when you do it, you start to get value in it. People start saying, but then you start thinking, well, it's important. It's part of my life now, and I like it. And so I'm going to defend that.
Fight for it.
No, for real. I'm good. Because we get a lot of requests. Can you go here? Can you do that? Which is fine. I think when I mentioned to you, maybe I shouldn't say it on the camera, but I said make sure you let me know about today because we kind of had a. Because if you didn't, I would have been like.
You would have been
right.
Yeah, and which it worked out greatly, and I even appreciate the fact that you said thank you.
Yeah.
I do. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what? Dang, that's my time.
Yeah.
Dude.
And I'm truly grateful.
No, I know you. I want to say, but again, you mentioned it to me before you came.
Oh, I see.
And I remember that, and I was like, okay. So, nonetheless.
In front of you guys.
No, it's all good.
All right. So now.
Yes.
It's your turn. You're in the hot seat.
Okay, cool.
All right.
No.
I like that.
Yeah.
So about Dr. Latasha, what changes have you seen since you guys, relocated and you've been here?
This ought to be
I will
good.
say, from when we left Northern Virginia, DC metropolitan area, till now, I think Tasha. It's funny now. Think about it, because she actually sees herself. She sees herself more, and so. In the past, she just would have blew off stuff like because I'm busy, I gotta do stuff.
Okay.
Right? Outside of her, right?
Very beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. But she sees herself, and then like whatever she thinks she needs, she actually makes a space and time to acquire it, or to do it, or to be it. She does one of those things all the time. She tries to take care of herself a lot more. Just because, for one, I think it's available here. For two, she doesn't blow it off like, nah, it's not for me. She's like, no. Because I've seen her in the past just blow off things.
Like self-care.
Yeah, it's stuff that you just need to slow down and pay attention about yourself. We've been 4 years. She's got 4 years older, and she's recognizing that. She's like, okay,
I'm older.
Yeah, maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to do that. And I do like that part. In the past, I promise you, she would have been, I don't care because I got to go to work. I got to go do this.
Right.
I got to go do that. I got to, somebody wants me. Here, everything that she talks about, there are people who talk about it openly, like Sangomas, and they talk about it openly. It's like stuff that women...
Like holistic stuff.
Yeah, stuff that women talk
essential
about.
Oils, candles, sage burning, like all that type of like earthy stuff that's normal here.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to get involved in stuff and to look for spaces where you can do that for yourself here than it was there. To be into it there, it's like you don't go to church. It's like it's like
you don't take care of yourself.
Yeah, like what is that? So here it's a lot more, it's easier for me to just be who I probably already was, but had to suppress that because of the environment that I was in.
Well, I would say that because it's mainstream.
Yeah,
because there's so many black women that are having the same conversation.
Yeah.
It's mainstream. In the States, it's not mainstream. It's fringe.
Yeah.
those types of conversations because the white women are occupying those spaces. I hate to say it that way. That's just the way I see it. So.
Well, because we're supposed to be here.
Yeah. No, I think that's true.
Well, again, I want to thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate you sharing that you're getting to see another version of yourself and also another version of your spouse. Guys, hashtag relationship goals. But the message here is really slow down. You know, the answers are in just shifting from that speed mentality that we were trained into, but that's okay. We can take control of your life because you have a choice and slow down because that's the way to speed things up. So thanks for tuning in to Inner Cosmetics. I'll see you guys on the next video.
Thank you.
Ooh.
What you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things the Real South Africa. Thanks again.